Good morning and welcome to another edition of Talk That Tech.
Number one tech morning show in the world. Wake up, wake up.
Yeah, here we go. It's another episode. If you are new to this, or not new to this, but true to this is a call in show, y'all. So I'm going to drop the link right now. We're going to have topics that we talk about all day this morning, which is 7 to 8 a.m. Eastern, 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. Central. So go ahead and feel free to call to the show. And also, just so you know, if there's anything that you like, go ahead and like it, comment in the comment section. We'll bring it up. We'll talk about it. There's a lot that we're going to talk about today, and we're going to dive into it. But before we do, shout out to all the mothers out there. Happy Mother's Day to those who are mothers biologically, who are mentors, and also thoughts and prayers for those who unfortunately could not celebrate their Mother's Day with their mothers this year. Thoughts and prayers are with you as well. We just wanted to kind of acknowledge that and make sure that you guys had a great weekend and a great
For
Mother's Day.
sure. For
And with
sure.
that, yeah, with that being said, y'all, let's talk about our weekend. You can even put in the chat how your weekend went, but I'm gonna ask Trey first. How was your weekend, bro?
The the weekend was solid, man. Like you said, it's Mother's Day weekend, so a lot of stuff going on, man. Sunday though, just was going all day. Started off super early, went to church, and then never went back home. um, Like I don't even know how I got here now. No, but yeah, went out to dinner is wild because it's also my mother-in-law's birthday was yesterday as well. So sometimes it falls on Mother's Day. I happened to do that this year, so we had uh we had to kind of split, right? Because the where they were going to dinner, they didn't have like they were it was like for adults only, I guess. But just the way they had the party set up. So I had the baby, and we went to dinner with my parents. And then after I ate dinner, and after they were done, I went and met them over at the other place, so that they could see the baby and all that stuff, and I could go and visit with them for a while. But yeah, man, I was gone all day. Made it home, 7 in the evening, 7 something, and yeah, I had to hit the wind down routine. But how about yours, bro? How was the weekend?
Oh man, my weekend was a combination of the week.
Combination.
Yeah, a new word. Culmination of the week. So my wife and I took a week away, vacay. Thank the Lord, my parents were in town, so they could watch the kids first while we were able to do that. But we took a week away, and it was great, man. It was great to just get a chance to get away and to recharge and to reconnect. And so we did that. And then when we got back to the weekend, it was like, here we go. Got back Saturday. We had like a cookout at the house for Mother's Day. My brother and his kids came, and my mother-in-law, my nieces and nephews were there, and so it was just like a big old a little get together in a way. But with our family, it's kind of big, so it was a lot of fun, a lot of cooking, a lot of cleaning, a lot of the usual, and that was it. That was a good time, and we had a really enjoyable time. So y'all let us know how your weekend was as well. Put it in the comment section, and we'll bring it up. We got Coach Ralph in the building already. He says, "Good morning, y'all. Happy Mother's Day to y'all wives, mothers, and grandmas." That's right. Happy Mother's Day to all of the mothers in the
All
building.
y'all.
All y'all, all y'all in the building. And listen, I was just a little side note. But man, I was trying to catch up with these NBA finals. I don't know if you all have a team that are in the running right now, but I was catching a little bit of the NBA finals as well. And I'm from New York. My team is the Brooklyn Nets because I decided to ride and die with them. But I
Mm,
am rooting for the Knicks because they are standing right now, or we're standing 2-0, not a 2-1. So
yeah,
it's been an
yeah.
interesting series to watch, y'all. If y'all have anybody that you're rooting for who's a part of the NBA Finals right now, let us know in the comment section. But I just thought it was very interesting because there's more parity this year. The fact that Indiana's up 3-1 to Cleveland,
Bro,
who would have saw that
bro.
coming? Uh,
First of all,
so
who would have saw Cleveland? You know what I mean? Like doing what they did this whole year. Who would have saw that?
That's
let
true. Well,
alone them being uh, uh, here in the conference finals and all of that. So yeah, I definitely didn't see it.
yeah, yeah, that was tough, man. It was tough because a lot of them got injuries, on Cleveland side. So, man, hopefully they can pull it out, but it's not looking good. Tech coach Rouse said my week was better with the Cavs, apparently. Oh,
Yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah,
They kind of
that's
got
right.
blew out that last game, man. Kind of got blew out that
Yeah, that was
last
tough.
game. But I bro, you know it's crazy. I was talking with my mom because she actually she watches like basketball and football, like she likes that kind of stuff. But I think the game season should be shorter, bro. Like all these injuries,
Mm,
it's just I think it's too long or something. Something is going on where like it's getting too many injuries, and then something has to change because then your favorite people are out, or you got most of the team out. So then it's like of course they won. Like the whole thing is, I don't know. I just think they need to shorten the season for real so that they can have healthy people. Like you want to see a Damian Lillard all season long. You want to see the Dame time, and all the other people who've gotten injured. It's just like, I think it should be shorter. Anyway, that was just a thought I was having while I was talking with my mom. But yeah, it's
yeah,
an
well,
interesting. Go ahead. Go ahead.
no, I was gonna say, like, what do people think about? Put it in the chat. We want to know your thoughts because the old heads, the KGs, he actually commented about this. He said, "Hey, listen, we didn't have injuries like this. We played hard. It was all tough it out basically." So a lot of old heads feel like it's
Man,
they're taking too much breaks. That's why
they
they're
are
getting
bitter.
injuries.
Bro,
Yeah,
they're bitter. When you see these dudes getting $120 million guaranteed contracts and yours for your entire career was 37, you bitter. Like, yeah, I don't want my body to be hurt and broken up like yours. Can't get out the bed. Uh, knee about to pop out of place every time you walk. No, I don't want that. So I don't care if I was them, I wouldn't care what they were saying. All the old heads, say what you want. Now I got 400 million in the bank. Like, I don't know. There's something to like, um, I don't know. I see it in football. Sometimes when your whole goal is just to make it to the league, you fall off. Sometimes when the big paycheck comes in, you fall off. And what I mean by fall off, sometimes you don't necessarily be like hurt, but you don't want to get hurt. Like you made too much money, you don't want to get hurt. So it's like, hey, you know what? I'm out. Uh, but you definitely see it in football where it's like, you hit that big check, and then all of a sudden, man, them stats is not how they used to be. What happened? And it's like you made it. They already got what they came in the league for. I'm not trying to blow this. I don't want CTE.
yeah,
So, but
retire early.
yeah, man. So I don't know. It's a lot of different factors going into that, but I don't know. Every time I hear an old head talking about it, it just sounds like you're hating.
And listen, we're about to get right into the show, but I'm going to finish this up with some questions from the audience and comments from Tech Coach Ralph. So go ahead, put your comments in right now. He says, "Are the players getting softer? We had 82
Of
games for
course.
the longest time. When they got more money, they want to pay less, play
That's what
less."
I told you. Yeah, of course they are. You get soft too if you got 200 million guaranteed. No, I don't want to be out there. That's why I'm a huge fan of LeBron James. People hate on him. eh, Like if you can separate the player from who he is from what he does, you cannot hate on his game because this dude is a billionaire. A billionaire still playing at the top of the league, top 5, whatever you want to say. You can't like who do you know if they had $1 billion, they working on their job every day? Who do you know? Absolutely nobody.
True.
Period. You don't know nobody in your regular life that if they had $1 billion in bank account, they still be going to that tech job. They still be going to work at Walmart. You don't know nobody. So that's why I respect LeBron James because he is still playing at the top of the league at his statue. So yes, again, yeah, they softer, of course. When you making that much money, you don't want to do it. You're doing what you got to do.
Yeah. I respect LeBron James as well. And how many games would he propose in the season? I don't. I mean,
I don't know. No,
yeah,
now that I don't know.
yeah. I don't know about that. I only on
56.
yeah, I'm on the fence about it only because it affects all those records from the past. It has the asterisk now.
It's
Most
true. That is true.
most
That
games
is
won in the
true.
season asterisk.
I would hate to then hear all the old heads talk about that. You
Yeah, in
know,
my day we had
so
82 games.
yeah, leave it alone. Never mind. Leave it at 81. Don't even change it. Just leave it at 81, bro.
And Dylan, and Dylan.
Oh no, Dylon
Dylan.
from
Oh,
yeah. From making the band, but or I think it was making the band. But anyways, Dave Chappelle did the parody.
oh,
Dylon, you know, that one.
I, listen. I funny thing. I think I gotta watch Chappelle show on our way away, but I didn't get to that episode yet. Chappelle show. So
Yeah.
oh, do watch a lot of those reruns. Well, listen, y'all. Thank you so much for rocking with us again. This is a call-in show. Feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. Your comments will be pulled up, and you subscribe so that next. He says, "Sorry, Joseph." He's the comments so that next time we can definitely pull up your comment on the screen, bring it up, and we'll chat about it. We're going to dive into some topics that we have today. The first one, before we get to the main thing about talking about networking and engineering and why that is under or overlooked position. We're going to talk about what NVIDIA is doing. It's a strategic move right now to basically downgrade H20 chips, and we'll tell you why they're doing that downgrade. And I'm going to pass over to Trey to tell you more.
Yep. Nvidia, everybody knows it, everybody loves it or hates it. Either way, they get into the bag. That's a fact. Nvidia, they basically are downgrading their H20 chips so that they can keep the Chinese market. You know, we got all these US exports controls going on. They said, hey, we got to find a way. So they got put their heads together and they got it done. And this is what they came up with. So they are releasing a downgraded version of the H20 AI chips that are specifically made for the Chinese market. Now, why do they have to be? Oh, sorry. Why do they have to be downgraded? Y'all already know about that, so we're not going to talk about that right now. But they're expected to launch these chips July 2025. Here's why this stuff matters. All right. Now, the government, they told NVIDIA that the original H20 chip it was exceeding performance thresholds that were allowed under those new national safety regulations. And so instead of like just abandoning China altogether, that's a big market, y'all. A lot of stuff going on over there. They like Nvidia, they had to redesign some stuff and basically gave it some reduced capacities to make sure that it complied with those regulations. So they're gonna get all the coins. That's what they said. Like, hey, that's too much to be leaving over there. We need to make something happen. So that's what they did. Now, going forward, what that means is NVIDIA, they're definitely going to continue to have that relationship with those major Chinese clients that they already had. Y'all know some of these names: Alibaba, okay, Tencent, and then ByteDance, TikTok. So in the short term, obviously, you have growing competition because once that news hit, you had all the other Chinese manufacturers the domestic ones, they were trying to cook up some. Y'all remember we talked about Huawei's Ascend 910C chip that really, in the numbers, it outperformed that NVIDIA downgraded H20 chip. So that could get a larger part of the market by the time it actually hits the market in 2026 as well. So they're suspecting 10 to 15% of the market that Huawei can kind of scoop up just from them Nvidia having to downgrade that chip to sell it. But Nvidia has the clout, so we'll see there. Now, as far as the CEO, Jinsing Huang, he recently went over to Beijing and highlighted NVIDIA's commitment to the Chinese market. So it's serious when the CEO got to go over there and show his face, be like, "Hey, we standing with y'all. We're gonna get y'all right. We're gonna make sure y'all got something to shake with." he had to go do that, shake some hands, kiss some babies to make sure that money kept flowing in. And yeah, obviously we were able to see like how important that Chinese market is to like the tech industry. And even though all this tension and all this stuff is going on in the daily news and all that stuff, they like the tech companies like, look, we still gotta get this coin. So anyways, that's kind of what's going on there. As far as that, yeah, I mean that's pretty much it, Joseph. Like that's what's going on, man.
Well, listen, we promised to keep you guys updated about this. So let us know in the comments section, what are your thoughts? We got Sid right there. He says, how is network engineering applicable in the gaming industry? Well, we're going to talk about that soon. So I'm going to save your comment for that later. But in regards to this particular topic, Sid, feel free to comment about anything specifically with NVIDIA. I think that we knew this was going to come down to something similar to this. We didn't know exactly how they did it or how they're going to circumvent the system. But NVIDIA is basically drawing that line in the sand and saying, "Hey, listen, yes, we're an American company. Yes, this is cool and all, but we got bills to pay, and we cannot let China do their own thing and not be involved with that market." And China is showing they don't care. They're like, "We'll do whatever we want."
Yep, for facts.
So they're like, "Okay, you want to leave us out of this? All right, cool. Let's see how that works for you." So I mean, listen, this is shaping up to be very, very interesting conversation for sure. And I think that we'll just start. It's just in the beginning, really. We're just in the beginning of it. I want to see how the government responds. How. I mean, what can they say? They said you can't ship over things that are too high. In regards to the criteria, right? So they said, bet we won't. We'll do something underneath it. So
don't worry about it.
Yeah, don't worry about it. Yeah, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
We're gonna make it work.
Exactly.
But and it's interesting that they did that. I'm pretty sure we'll see some others make some adjustments as well, and be sure to get over there. But yeah, it's interesting that that's what they came up with. Instead of losing that whole market or coming out with something later, they got their heads together and they got it done, and now they're going to be able to continue continue to partner, continue to work, continue to make those shareholders happy, because that's ultimately what they care about.
Yeah, exactly. That's the ultimate thing right there. And they got these companies trying to maneuver between two parents fighting. That's exactly they're going through a divorce, and they love the companies love each other, love each parent. They want to make sure that love is felt. And so that's exactly what the situation is looking like.
They're like, how can I get Christmas presents from both sides, man?
Yeah,
I need two birthday parties, two Christmas days. Like, come on now.
Yeah, that's exactly how it is feeling right now. Listen, y'all, let us know in the comment section what your thoughts are on this subject. We want to make sure we hear from you, but that's how exactly it feels like. It's like, listen, I gotta do my thing over here. Don't tell mama what I'm doing over here, and I'll give you some candy. And then the mama's like, "What are they doing over there? Tell us. We want to know. If you do that, I'll give you $10." So the companies are torn. But the sentiment is truly there. Sentiment is truly there, for sure. For sure, man. But yeah, we're keeping you updated on the situation, as well as the one about Google. We'll keep you updated about it for sure and let you know what's going down the pipe. But yeah, if y'all don't have any comments on this, we're going to move on to the next segment that we're going to talk about here, which is the Tech Wire. The Tech Wire in the building here. So the Tech Wire is basically a segment that is powered by Black Tech Global, your premier website or location to find all sorts of events that are occurring and happening. So definitely go ahead to blacktechglobal.com for more. And like always, these are rapid fire, real quick. So stick with us as we go through these. But basically, it has a Black Woman Talk Tech Roadmap to Billions 25. It's happening in New York City, May 15th to 16th. Yeah, there's billions, roadmap to
Mm.
billions, and that's happening May 15th to 16th, right here in New York City. It is about $400 for that event, but definitely check it out for sure. There are going to be different guests that are going to be a part of that. It's about 600 plus tech founders, investors, and innovators that are coming out to this roadmap to billions event, and so you want to check that out
Ah,
for yourself.
so
It's going to
it's
be hot.
billions in the room, y'all. Billions in the room.
Hey, listen now. If y'all in the space, Element New York's Times Square West is where they're gonna have the event. Tickets are sold right now. This is custom content tracks. This is VC office hours. This is tech industry meetups, luxury founders retreat. Expert speakers will be there as well, so you definitely want to check it out. And if you want to know some of the speakers, Antonio Dean, the principal of Black Ops VC, a lot of VCs are going to be in the room there. TechSpeak.co, Level Up Ventures. So there's a lot of people in the space that you might want to be able to kind of connect with. And this is for you if you are interested in this particular event. So that's happening May 15th to 16th. And we do also have a few other events that are happening. We have Boston While Black, Boston, Massachusetts, at $300 for this particular event, and it's happening May 30th to 31st. It's a summit that they're having in Quincy, Massachusetts. You can check that out for yourself as well on the website. And then last but not least, we have Black Tech Connect Mixer that's happening in Baltimore, Maryland for $0.00. Basically, this is a theme-based curated experience, not about job titles or awkward small talk, but genuine connections through unforgettable moments. So you want to check that out in Baltimore at the Map Technologies. Free street parking, $0 for this event. So if you're in the Baltimore, Maryland area, check it out for yourself. And that is it for today's rundown for Black Tech Global, the Tech Wire. So go check that out for yourself. Now, this is a great comment from Sid that is actually going to segue into what we're going to talk about next. And so I'm going to pull it up now. And basically, what Sid is saying here is Sid is saying that I began my career as a software developer, but I did not have the opportunity to gain experience in network engineering, possibly due to its limited prominence in the industry. And that is a really good segue. And I didn't forget your question, Sid. We're going to talk about it right now as we transition to this next segment regarding the subject, network engineering. And the reason why we're bringing this up is because shout out to OTTO. I don't know if he's
My
on right
boy.
now. I don't know if he's working, but he recently was interviewed on the YouTube channel, the Bearded IT Dad. So shout out to the Bearded IT Dad. We're gonna drop a link to that episode in the
Definitely
chat
familiar.
just so you got to follow and support that video and that episode. But yeah, he was able to be interviewed for that, and so he shared some light on his journey of transitioning into network engineering, and we wanted to make sure we highlighted it and talk about it today and let everybody know. And Techo Drop said he did great. Yes, he did. He did great.
That's a fact.
And
That's a fact.
yeah, so we want to make sure we highlight that. So without further ado, I'm gonna pass over to Trey while I drop it in the chat, and then we'll talk about it more.
Yeah, yeah. So really that's the whole goal here to that we wanted to talk about. We was hoping he could come on, but he can't today. But we still want to talk about, is network engineering overlooked in tech? Um, and that's obviously that's some things that they were talking about there. But yeah, so as far as network engineering, basically it's often considered an overlooked or underappreciated role, like in the broader tech space. Even though the foundational importance is like through the roof, like you for sure need it, right? And so that's what we're going to dig into there. Just there are people who like unsung heroes in tech, and if you think that you want to be that, or it might sound interesting to you, like, yeah, I want to be an unsung hero, or I want to work in that space. That's kind of why we wanted to bring this to the light after that interview. So as far as network engineering, like I said, the unsung heroes, they basically keep stuff running smooth. So in that role, you rarely get in the spotlight compared to the stuff you hear all the time: software engineers or software developers, the AI specialists now, right? Or cybersecurity experts. Like, those are the people that we hear all the time. Rarely are you hearing anything about the network engineers. Now, as far as cloud computing, that's really changed a whole lot of stuff. So a lot of networking tasks that really used to require really specialized engineers, now you can kind of do that with a few clicks in a cloud platform, right? So that makes the deep expertise that these professionals um, like that they how do I put it? They seem to lack the necessary to outsiders. So people who aren't inside, they don't think that you kind of need that now. But the invisible problem that we have now, right? Network engineers, they're facing is the IT dilemma here of when they do their job like absolutely perfect, nobody notices, nobody sees it, nobody like you don't even. It's just everything's working smoothly. So their actual work only becomes visible when something goes wrong, and then now nobody can access their emails, right? Or nobody can get on the video call. So that's when everybody's looking that way. But prior to that, when everything is going perfect, unsung heroes, invisibles, right? So yeah, so basically the challenge that we have now is network engineers, they got to be hybrid professionals at this moment. So you got to master the traditional network, like networking, and modern programming skills if you really want to be great at this, from what I'm hearing. All right, so basically this field, it is complex, and it could be kind of intimidating if you're new to it, but it definitely is worth it. And so um as far as perception in the role, sometimes, again, it seems like less innovation or cutting edge compared to the other fields, right? But at the end of the day, you definitely need them. So yeah, that's we definitely want to bring it out because it is one of those things that people are just, you kind of go under the radar in that space right there.
Yeah, and before I say anything, Tech Coach Rob brought some good points. He said the problems, in my opinion, with network engineering is there's a limited amount of companies normally need, and it requires a lot of certification that are hard to take, a long time to obtain, maybe find a job, or to
Yeah,
maybe find a job. So like there's like a gap between when you actually start learning or becoming or start preparing to become a network engineering to when you actually can do it. And I
yeah.
believe there's other areas where it could be a little bit more easier, tangible to obtain. And then Taco Trout says I agree with Trey that with cloud computing does become a lot more relevant. Yeah, because of where things are going, everything's moving to the cloud. But you do need that person that's setting it up initially, um, in house, the infrastructure, and then the cloud part comes later. Or correct me if I'm wrong. What do you think? What do you with that Tech Coach Ralph? Sid asked a question: how has the role of network engineering evolved over the past decade? That's a great
Yeah,
question.
it is. I think we kind of answered that, right? Like
Yeah,
it's one of
cloud
those
computing.
it's one of those spaces where um it's seen as maintenance rather than like innovation at this point, so it's less
Yeah,
glamorous than coding or AI, but then also, yeah, that cloud and automation, it really, the cloud platforms and automation tools, they've abstracted away those traditional networking tasks that you used to see. So like I would say if it wasn't the last decade, for sure in the last 4 or 5 years, you've definitely seen that role really really change.
yeah, and also I want to go back to your other question. Sid, you said how is network engineering applicable in the gaming industry? And I did a quick search, basically in multiple different ways. So it helps with the online multiplayer infrastructure. They configure the maintain servers for real-time multiplayer sessions there. And then latency and bandwidth optimization, that's something that's been done, for example, with Call of Duty, in regards to making sure that, the routing paths and things like that nature are optimized. This includes, and it kind of overlaps again with the cloud computing. So there's cloud and edge computing integration. Some people who are network engineering are looking to diversify and grow. And so they are studying now to be cloud computing and things of that nature. So it's becoming more of a hybrid role, I think, at the end of the day, for a lot of people.
Yeah,
And so they're just moving into other areas like voice and chat integration and communication and patching and content delivery. So I believe the traditional networking engineering role may be evolving in itself. which ties into what was said earlier, and that's how it's
Yeah.
impacting.
And what I
Yeah,
saw too, bro, is like basically they said like as far as the network engineers, that's pretty much the backbone of the online gaming. And so they're
yeah,
saying like if you don't have, so I mean maybe that's a space that they hang out, right? Like, but the thing is, can you get in that space? Is everybody hanging out in there and you can't get in?
mm,
But what they're saying is like if you don't have those super skilled network engineers, like multiplayer games, any kind of game that you have for multiplayer, like it just couldn't function. So
yeah,
they're responsible for the designing, all the implementation, and the maintaining, right, that we talked about
mm,
of those games. So it seems like it's really heavy on the gaming side, like obviously, but um, the question is, how many of those roles are available?
yeah. That's what the tech coach Rob brought up earlier. He said, you have two types of networking: one within the company that has computers talking together, etc. Then networking for permissions, access servers, etc. for applications on the internet. So with those two
Okay.
types of networking you got going on, the question is, how many companies are looking for that particular role? I would love for OTTO. I know he had to come to work early, but I would love for him to share a bit because he did have some good thoughts about it, his journey in regards to how he navigated things and how he moved from basically help desk. I think was initially what he was looking to do, IT help desk or cybersecurity.
Hmm.
Excuse me, cybersecurity. And then he found out more about network engineering. And there's actually a friend of mine in this in IRL in real life who was talking to me randomly 2 weekends ago because somebody told him, "Hey, you're interested in tech, you should get into networking engineering."
Hmm.
And so I'm not sure if this space is completely dead. Like we said, that it does have a necessary role, but people are talking about it, and so we want to make sure that we provide that information to people
Yeah.
and just kind of bring it up there.
Maybe maybe you got to check your Rolodex, see who you know who may be in the space, or maybe they might need one, and you know somebody who works at that company, and maybe you can slide in there like that. But um, either way, it looks like there's a long horizon or a longer horizon on from when you're learning about it or trying to get in to when you actually get in, just because of the amount of need for in these companies. So as long as we keep that in mind and we keep uh, a level head around that piece, right? If you're not expecting to get into it in 2 weeks, then it's great. But even if if that does happen, then that was just an anomaly, maybe. But on average, it'll be a longer horizon to get into the space. As long as we know that, then we're good.
Yeah, and as long as you can, as Sid made a good point, how long as you can evolve with the role, I think it might be a good thing because the technology is moving very fast. We don't know what this is going to look like in the future, especially with the cloud. So as long as you can evolve with the role, that's important. In fact, Tech Coach Ralph says within a company, you can get away with about 5 people working within the company network, more or less, for applications, knowing how to work with AWS, GCP, Azure, Azure. I think it has a high demand. Okay, so that's the
Mm,
niche right there. It's for
that's some
applications,
insider knowledge right there. You better.
marketplace.
So you need to make sure you know how to work with all those. So if I can come into the interview and I know how to work with all those, and maybe you only know how to work with one, who they going with, man?
They're go with the one that knows the most.
You better believe it. So that's just kind of where we are at the moment. Highly skilled, multiple avenues. Um, yeah.
Yeah, and that just to kind of for those who don't know, AWS, GCP, Azure, that's all cloud. So having that behind, even though you have the networking, which is of course routing cables, all the different stuff, you have that in your background. Cloud is where it's at. So you definitely want to make sure that you are not staying pat, that you're learning and growing in those areas as well,
every day.
every day and every way. So listen, y'all, that's awesome, great points, to Coach Ralph about that. We definitely appreciate it.
For
And if
sure.
you and keep Take Ralph says, "LOL." Trey, depends on on which one of the company uses. If you're an expert with AWS and someone else knows decently what with all three, but the company works mainly on AWS, they'll go with the AWS person.
This is
So,
true. I like it. I like it. I like it.
and I always say it depends on the company too as well, because sometimes the company may it depends on what kind of company they are. Some companies are service providers, so they want to get on all three platforms, so they can provide services to all three potential clients. Let's say one client is on AWS, but another one's in Azure. They want to kind of eventually get to all three, so that way they can be platform agnostic, for lack of a better term. So it really depends
Hmm.
on the company and what their intention is or their goals. But if they already said, "Hey, we're AWS house, we ain't going nowhere," that's a really good point. That's a really good
Yeah.
point.
So basically, do your research up front on your top 10 or 20 companies.
Yeah,
See what they have in common or see what they use or where they stay at, and then really go deep on those spaces. And then that way, when you come in, you're like, man, I'm an expert at this, and I know this is what y'all use because I'm not lazy and I did my research.
yeah, it's very good for like understanding and partnerships as well. Uh, uh, to echo Ross says to what Joseph was saying, to also have backups and failovers. Yeah, that's a good point. You want to be know enough to be dangerous. You know enough to be dangerous for sure. And Sid said, "This is my first time learning about network engineering and cloud. Thanks for the insights. I'll definitely be exploring it further.
For
It's
sure.
further, yeah, absolutely. And if y'all aren't, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, y'all. Go ahead and like this video if you found any value from it, just from the conversation that we're having. This is not a show just for me and Trey to talk all day. This is a show for you to interact with us and for you to share your opinions. We're just bringing the articles, information to you, so we can all have a conversation. In fact, we'll call the conversation. No, I'm kidding. That's another show.
Ah,
Uh, conversation. But Techo Driver also brought another good point here. He said private companies lean into AWS, public sector normally is Microsoft Azure, and then data companies may go with GCP. So that gives you already a knowledge of like, okay, this company is a private company. AWS is probably going to be where they work. If it's private public sector, Microsoft has it on lock, and if it's data companies, then Google's right there, ready to go. So that kind of gives you a broad view right now. Like, okay, these are the ones where I might want to play in or learn about, depending on what industry
facts.
you want to get in. So that's a really good point. I'm glad you broke that down, Tech Coach Ralph. And if y'all don't know, Tech Coach Ralph got his own channel. Go to youtube.com/@ at Tech Coach Ralph after the show, because he's gonna be going live. I'm assuming, and you want to be able to follow up with everything that he's doing over there. So definitely go and lock in with him for a show,
This is
because
facts.
he's got some great stuff that he's doing. So go ahead and lock in with Tech Coach Ralph as well. And listen, y'all, again, this is a call-in show. I'm going to drop that link in again. I know we're kind of coming towards the end of the show. And if I'm honest, I'm not feeling the greatest because I got, I don't know, some crazy cold, whatever from the trip. I don't know what it was. But
Hmm.
but it's all good. We're gonna definitely keep the show rolling.
We're gonna end on time today.
We're gonna end on time
Or
today.
maybe a little early. That's what he's saying. He's saying you better get these calls in early if you're trying to call in because we're gonna be in maybe a little early, so Joseph can get back into bed, pull the covers up. Uh,
Straight to work for me.
never
Straight to work
mind.
for me. Shoot, shoot. And
Never mind. He's gonna be guzzling daytime Dayquil. Never mind.
I literally
Uh,
had NyQuil last night. This is the best that I came with. So listen, y'all, go ahead and click on and call on the show if you want to share your thoughts. Sid, if you want to share a little bit more about your story, we will stop the presses to hear it as well. We would love to hear how you're transitioning from software development, looking into network engineering, or anybody else that's joined in who's quiet in the backgrounds, who has some thoughts and they want to share it, go ahead and do so. But I'm going to talk about something. If you remember backpack rappers back in the day, that's what they used to say.
Oh yeah.
Where did all the rappers, all the I'm going to actually leave it as a question too. Where did all the indie artists have their music, if you remember? And I'll give you a couple of seconds because
That's
it shouldn't
funny.
take that long. Oh, Techo Drop says he's running a little late today, but would love to talk about it with y'all. Yeah, yeah. No,
For
absolutely,
sure.
absolutely. Um, we would love to have you, man. Well, with that being said, I'm not gonna wait. SoundCloud, remember SoundCloud? Well, if you had some music on SoundCloud, or if you do have music on SoundCloud, then this might apply to you. So stay tuned. We're gonna talk about it right now. But basically, SoundCloud terms of use update and AI training on uploaded music. So if you have music
Mm.
there, just letting you know, in February 2024, that's this year.
No,
Sound
2024.
That's last year. Sorry, I'm sorry. That was last year. SoundCloud quietly updated its terms of use to include a clause allowing the platform to use user uploaded content to inform, train, and develop or serve as input to artificial intelligence or machine intelligence technologies or services as part of their providing its service. And we've seen this before. We've seen other platforms quietly putting it in, saying, hey, nobody reading these terms and agreements. Let's just go ahead and put this thing in so we could take their information and use it for our good. So the update sparked significant backlash among musicians and rights activists. Many artists expressed outrage on social media, with some going as far as to delete their accounts in protest. Critics argue that, well, I'm laughing in my mind because deleting it's too late. They
Tuh.
probably got whatever they needed. Critics argue
People don't
that
be thinking rationally, man.
yeah, it's probably done deal. Critics argue that the clause was introduced without sufficient transparency or explicit user notification, raising ethical and legal concerns about consent and copyright. The Federal Trade Commission has previously warned that companies risk legal trouble if they covertly change privacy policies to use customer data for AI without proper notification. Let me stop right here. Let me know in the chat if y'all have music on SoundCloud and you are rushing right now to get that music off while I'm talking.
Tuh.
Let me know right now in the comment section. Be like, be right back. BRB. So SoundCloud Assistant has never, quote unquote, used artist upload content to train AI models, nor does it currently develop generative AI tools or allow third parties to scrape or use content from its platform for AI training. Mm, interesting. The company says that the updated terms were intended to clarify how content might interact with AI technologies within SoundCloud's own platform, citing uses like music recommendations, player creation, content organization, fraud detection, content identification, not generative music. That's what they're saying. SoundCloud has implemented a technical safeguard such as quote no AI end quote tag to explicitly prohibit unauthorized use of content for AI training. Content governed by separate licensing agreements with major records like Universal and Warner and others, allegedly, right, is specifically excluded from any AI training provision. So there's future potential opt-outs with while SoundCloud uh, oh, cool. I'm going to definitely bring that up just now in a second, Sid. While SoundCloud maintains it does not currently use user updated music for AI training, the new terms do not rule out the possibility in the future. So they're trying to get themselves prepared. The company has stated that should it ever consider using it, basically, that it'll basically let them know and and remain dedicated transparency, right? So just to round it up here, basically, we kind of get it. SoundCloud has that terms. People are getting an uproar about it. They say they're not using it yet, but there's a market for it. They know there's a market for it where these companies are like, listen, if we could get if we could get these things trained, we could create songs. We don't even need the middleman. Like let's do this thing. So, what are your thoughts on it, y'all? And I'm going to definitely go back to your comments, Sid. I just want to get on the SoundCloud topic. But what are your thoughts on it, y'all? What do you think about SoundCloud and this new AI legal update?
Yeah, I think it's the same thing that happens all the time. Like, people jump to conclusions based on like a headline, and then you look into the details of it. Now, whether or not they're doing it specifically or they are doing some kind of, backhand crazy stuff, we don't know. But they tell you, hey, we just what is that? Citing music recommendations, playlist uh, curation and creation, content organization. Like that's what they're using it for, not to get your music sound and then put it on there as like maybe a Walmart or an Amazon. You know how Amazon, you got a product and they can see the back end. If you're in e-commerce, you know what I'm talking about. Like, you got a product and it's killing it, right? It's running it up. You're doing numbers, and then all of a sudden, Amazon releases an Amazon version of that product because they can see that it's doing well. They got all the numbers, but they also can get a bigger volume than you probably and charge less. But they're not doing that kind of thing from what they're saying. It's just to help give a better experience to people on the platform. That's what it's looking like now. Whether or not that's the case is going on, I don't know. Um, yeah, but that's what it sounds like to me.
Yeah, man.
Did I
Yeah,
get that right? I don't know. I don't know. That's what it
I
sounds like.
yeah, that's what SoundCloud is saying. SoundCloud's like, listen, y'all are jumping to conclusions. However, I laugh because
Headline readers.
yeah, basically they say, hey, this is just to show you that we're ready, kind of using AI to make you have a better customer experience. However, according to this, these articles from these different sources, which is Fast Company, Holiday, Hollywood Reporter, a few others, they're basically saying like, hey, listen,
They
it still
lying.
leaves room for future if they want to work some deals out. But we'll see because that's
and,
definitely something that we can talk about. But we
and
got
that's one of those things. Oh, my bad.
no,
Go
no,
ahead.
go ahead.
I was gonna say, and that's one of those things too, bro. Like, uh, as we've added in AI to our everyday use,
Yeah.
these companies are not able to slide these, they can't slide this stuff in on us anymore. I can
Mm,
easily just, hey, that updated terms of service, let me copy and paste that in the, chat GBT or Claude. Hey, tell me what I need to know out of this. Something that's, may be detrimental to me and my specific information. And it's gonna pull
mm.
it out, so I don't have to read through it. And yeah, again, it's the age that we live in. Maybe back in the day, 6 years ago, hey, they could slide anything on us and we wouldn't even know. Wouldn't think twice about it. I get them emails. We updated our terms of service. You know, open, close. So,
Yeah, man. Yeah, I totally hear that. Oh, we got Oris as well. Good morning, Oris.
hey, good morning.
So glad
Good
you're able to
morning.
stop by. And we also got none other than the person that we were talking about earlier, Operation Tech Takeover, OTTO. Says, peace and blessings, family. Sorry I'm late. Just got out of a meeting. I know the show has been great, and I have to go back and look at it. Yes, we were talking about you, and we would love to get your input on network marketing because we have Sid, who's in the building, who is very interested. In fact, Sid said, he said, I started as,
Joseph's sick, y'all. He's sick.
yeah, I'm sorry.
not
Yeah.
network marketing.
Oh, network engineering. Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
I am
yeah, yeah,
the NyQuil is fading out of my system. Sorry. I started as a software dev developer at a cloud company, got Salesforce certified, and left last year to explore game design. The video popped up, and now I'm learning more about network marketing. So I would actually suggest you connect with laughing at me.
network engineer.
Network engineer. Oh my gosh, why am I thinking network marketing? I can't even read
I don't
today.
know.
This is funny. Kids do not take NyQuil. Um,
Don't do drugs. No, I'm playing. I'm
don't
playing.
do drugs.
He's on the
But-
legal. Like,
That's hilarious. All right, I'm bounce back. Networking engineering, right? So connect with OTTO about network engineering. If you want to drop your LinkedIn OTTO, feel free to do so. To talk about network engineering, uh, with on LinkedIn, so you guys can connect Sid and yourself to him, and uh, and I'm gonna be quiet right now, so I don't say anything else silly.
Nah,
But
you know, it happens to the best of us, bro. We are almost out of here, so it's all good.
yeah, man. So, but yeah, definitely connect because he's going through that journey. He could share, and actually, if you see the video later on, he definitely says, "Hey, listen, if anybody wants to reach out to me, that's OTTO. Go ahead and reach out, and I'd love to share my transitioning, how I'm transitioning into this career." He does come from a medical tech background and has experience as well working with EHRs and things of that nature. So it was like a hand in glove in some ways. And so he could definitely share how he's able to transition into network engineering. Right. So yeah, he could definitely share a little bit about that as well. He said laugh. Tito's laughing at me. Hey, listen, I'm laughing at myself too. It's not what I meant to say, but it just came out that way. But yeah, look, so that's definitely. I want to make sure you guys have that connection as well because it's so good. Going back to SoundCloud though, yeah, I
Yeah.
think that this is not. This is literally going to be. I wonder if Bandcamp is going to do something like that, or if they did something already. A lot of companies are going to really try to find ways to adopt AI. You either have to either at this point of the game, you either have to be a company that is selling AI or using AI. Like some companies are writing blank checks to be like, listen, director, VP, you go out there and find out what I need or what we need, I should say, and here you go. Um,
Yeah.
and get it. So if you're not in this space, if you're not utilizing it, excuse me, or looking into it, then you're going to be behind the eight ball and you're going to lose your competitive advantage. And so this kind of shows that SoundCloud and others are looking at it as well, and trying to find ways to incorporate it to bring. In this case, it sounds like a better customer experience, but who
That's what I
knows
said.
evolve into? Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah,
You bring in a shisty individual into the company. They see all that data. They like, man, what y'all doing? We could. And then next thing you know, they running it up, using your info in a whole different kind of way. And the person who implemented it, turning over in their graves. This is not what I did that for. Happens all the time. Happens all the
and Techo Trust has also got me on Perplexity. Perplexity is a great tool.
Yeah,
Perplexity is a
yeah,
great
it's
tool.
awesome. Yeah,
Especially the one now, the deeps research, like,
yeah, yeah. You hit
yeah,
that deep research, man.
yeah, you're like, oh man, this is like a encyclopedia here. But yeah, no, it's definitely great use. And with that, we're gonna be rolling into our last segment, y'all. And if you are familiar with this one, then great. If you're not, hold tight. We're talking about our brown box special. Now, these are stories of anybody that either has quit their job, were let go, or fired. And it's not just for us to make jokes at it. It's for us to laugh at our own pain because we've all been through it. We've gone through it, and sometimes we just need to normalize certain things so that we could go through it again and again and be all right with it. And so this is one of the situations that came up, and basically this was a person that worked in construction. They said I was working construction. The work they had us doing didn't require supervision. We were working on a 60-story condo tower. And this is, by the way, credit of Reddit. So appreciate you, Reddit, for providing this. Our shift was 8 to 4, and I noticed on the first day that most people packed up and left by 3:45 p.m. But being new, I didn't want to ruffle any feathers, so I worked until 4 before packing up. And this happened for almost 3 months. So he's like, 3 months, everybody leaves, he's the last one there. Fast forward to the last week of my probation when I realized that no one was ever getting in trouble for this. So I figured, why not? Supervisor sees me leaving at 3:45 and calls me on my phone as I'm walking to my car. Where are you going? Come back. Even while everyone was leaving, they didn't call anyone else. They wrote me up And a few days later, on my review day, they fired me. I felt so dumb or stupid for getting caught and angry that no one else was being disciplined.
You worrying about the wrong thing. Worrying about the wrong thing, Playboy. Like, you can't do what everybody else can do. And that goes for
Mm,
anything in life. All this, like, it's just some stuff you just can't do. Even if everybody else is doing it, you cannot be a follower. I learned this lesson in a smaller way as a kid, and my parents, that's one of the first things they told me. You can't always do what everybody else can do. They
mm,
parents ain't like yours.
mm.
You gonna get in trouble. They parents don't care. Yours do. All that kind of stuff. Like, at the end of the day, you gotta be your own person. I don't care if you see everybody leave. If your time is whatever your time is, you need to leave at that time. And then make sure you just, like, you already clocking it, write it down on your little notepad. I leave on time every day. That's why I should get this raise. Because I do my work up until the bell. Like, you looking at it from the wrong lens.
Mm.
They might not be looking to move up. You looking at people who want to stay in that same role, that same position for the rest of their life. If you got aspirations of, maybe moving up the ranks or going a little bit higher, you can't do that same thing. Because sometimes you following the wrong people. You following them, and then you wondering why you didn't get the promotion or why you didn't, aren't moving up, but you want to. And then you talk to them, and they're like, "Shoot, I like being able to leave early. I ain't going nowhere." And you like, "Oh, I'm hanging with the wrong group." Anyways, all I'm saying is terrible, absolutely terrible. Hopefully, it was a bought lesson for you, and you don't do it again.
Yeah, I got questions about it too, but Tech Road Trial took it from my mind. He said, no supervision for that? You're
Yeah,
building a 60-story condo? And I think what it
yeah,
was is that it was not direct supervision, like,
right.
like somebody there, like, do this, do that. But they obviously saw him leave. They
Yeah,
called
they
him up.
there.
They said, where you going, partner?
Not you,
Come,
Playboy.
where you going? Bring yourself back over here. That, I mean, I'm laughing, but what I would have probably done in his situation, I'm thinking, if like, okay, it's my 3:45, I would honestly went to whoever was my direct report and be like, listen, I just want to understand the culture. I'm new here. I don't know what. I thought it was 4 o'clock. I see everybody leaving early. Listen, is this protocol? And then let them say yay or nay, and then from there move on to something and say, okay, got you. Now I know.
Like, I'm already skeptical. I'm not even doing it. I don't care if everybody doing it. I'm like,
Yeah,
y'all trying to get me. It's not gonna happen. I'm keeping this job, especially if I'm on probation. Like, if you're on probation, the 90 days, you can't do nothing in the 90 days, bro.
that's
You
true.
need to
Yeah,
be
1 week
on
left.
the you need to be on the straight and narrow. Like, even if I did have the thought, like, I'm gonna be
Hmm.
realistic. If I did have the thought that I was gonna do that, I would definitely wait the week. Like, it's 1 week, bro.
Yeah,
You've been doing it for 90 days. It's one more week. Like, what are you doing?
just one more. He's at the
You
finish
want you
line,
want to
literally.
you want to tag along like a little kid following the older cousin. Man, get on somewhere, man. Get back. They don't even want you with them.
Oh,
Like, why
like the
you leaving?
Thanksgiving walk. We're going for
Yeah,
a walk,
man.
y'all. Thanksgiving. You
Get out of
invited,
here.
little one.
Oh, you might snitch on us. We don't know you like that.
Well, listen, snitching's for criminals. He's a civilian in this
Yeah,
case.
yeah,
Uh,
this is true. That is facts.
so he was just like, listen, I just want to know what's going on. Like,
Hey, because I'll tell. Yes,
I
I
think
am
you're
a
walking out
civilian. I'll
3:45.
tell.
Yeah, I mean, let's like unless, and I don't know if he had anybody he could speak to that could have been like, yeah, bro, this is not for you. This 3:45 is for us. We actually are leaving here to go to another spot. But that's crazy. You walking out and literally everybody's walking out this way. And you get the only one get the call. Get your behind
Bro,
here.
you on probation.
That's right. Oh, that would have hurt. 1 week away from probation. And Ted Coach Rouse said Joseph goes snitch. I said Citrus is not for civilians; it's for criminals. So this is just
This is facts.
this is a clarity, getting clarity.
Y'all know I'm telling. You better not do nothing around me, man. Got too much to lose.
Yeah,
you,
yeah, got him for
you're
sure.
you a YN. You just walking around with a shiesty mask for no reason. I'm looking at you. I'm looking. You got on a shiesty mask in the daytime, and in broad daylight, doing nothing. The phone light right here already. It's not at the ear yet. It's right here.
Oh man. Oh man. And the Tickle Brown said you're not LeBron, bro. You're just Bronny.
That's a fact.
You're just
You
Bronny.
can't do what I can do.
That's true. Ronnie, yeah, Ronnie gotta sit in that bench a little bit longer. Um, but yeah, that's exactly what it is. And listen, y'all. If you thank you guys for rocking with us on this episode of the show. We definitely appreciate it as always, and we want to make sure that you know, like OTTO, he brought us a bunch of stuff, and he brought this to us as well with his episode, and we brought on the show. So if there's anything you want to see in the show, go ahead and hit us up. You could drop so you could drop our LinkedIn, but you can connect with us on LinkedIn for sure. I'm gonna drop mine in the chat. And feel free to send us stuff. Feel free to like say, yo, I saw this. Let's talk about it. Because this is not just Trey's show, this is not just my show. This is our show. And we
For
want to
sure.
make sure that y'all know that we want to hear from you. So go ahead and connect with us if we have not connected already. And go ahead and send us stuff if we have not sent, if we have not get a chance to talk with you and stuff. So yeah, man, definitely appreciate it for sure. Yes, sir.
Oh,
All right,
are we ending or not?
we are.
What's
We are.
going on?
I was about to
Yo,
say
my
we are.
bad, y'all. Joseph is out of it. Y'all know he a little sick. You know, he trying to get back well. So keep your prayers on him, you know what I mean? But yes,
Yeah,
y'all,
definitely.
this is the end of the show. So, you know, I know all good things must come to an end. And this is
Yeah.
one of them.
Let's talk that tech. The
#1 tech morning show in the world, baby. We're gonna see y'all next week.
peace and elbow grease.